Today we're going to talk about yoga for traveling. Recently I went on a trip with my family and we ended up doing yoga in our hotel room when we arrived at our destination. So I wanted to give some ideas for some easy little sequences that help us to loosen up and enjoy our stay more, enjoy our destination. Poses that we don't necessarily need a mat or any props for. So I'm going to be seated and I'm going to kind of come into a seated mountain. Now, if you're sitting on a chair, you go ahead and sit on your hands just to help us keep our shoulder blades down because we're going to start with some neck stretches. I'm just going to press them down since I'm sitting on a block, but very easy to just sit on your hands if you are in a chair. So we're going to press the shoulder blades down. We're lifting the sternum or the breastbone. We're going to bring our ear towards our shoulder, not the shoulder towards our ear. We're going to keep the shoulder down. As we bring the ear towards the shoulder, we're going to focus on our breath. We're stretching these scalenes. And depending, if we rotate forward just slightly, we might be able to get a little bit of that upper trap as well. Let's come back, the other side. We remember that our scalenes raise the first and second ribs during forced inspiration. So if you go, those are pulling them up. Our rib cage is all the way up here. I know oftentimes people think of it just down here, but we know that it goes all the way up, right? And during traveling, sometimes things get a little bit tight. So it's nice to give them some attention. We're just going to shrug the shoulders up, drop them back, kind of working as a shoulder shrug and then roll them down in a nice controlled way. We're kind of moving the shoulder blade or scapula as we do this too. Just bring in some nice blood flow. We're going to roll them forwards now. Sometimes I feel like this is a funny movement, but then it feels really good. Roll them back. Now we're going to just come into a nice little lateral flow. So we're just flowing one hand over. If you feel your elbow coming forwards, either go out of the pose a little bit, don't go as far into it, or really make sure that you're staying in alignment. So then I'm going to bring this hand up. I'm going to grab it with this hand. This is in lieu of a strap. I'm just going to use my own hand and pull gently. So we're engaging our QL here. We're stretching out a little bit of that serratus anterior, a little bit of the teres, a little bit of the lat here, which tends to make us all nice and hunchy. We're going to switch and do the other side. Bring our arms down. We're going to bring them up and we're going to exhale as we twist. We can either bring our hands to the wall or wherever you're sitting on a chair maybe, or to the floor. Pulling the shoulder blade down, we can get a little bit of a stretch in that shoulder if it's tight. Let's come back into our seated mountain. We're going to bring our arms out, pulling the shoulder blades together and down. We're going to be really aware of the shoulder blade. And we're just going to rotate the palms up and rotate them down. As we rotate down, we press them down just like we're standing in Warrior Two. And then we rotate up. And we remember that the forearms, one bone rotates around the other, right? So the bicep and the tricep aren't really involved in this action, the supination and pronation. So we're going to include them as well. We'll start palms down again, and then we'll rotate enough that we're rotating our biceps too. So we're rotating our shoulder. I want you to be really aware of your shoulder blades, and we're going to rotate into medial rotation. And what happens when you do this? Your shoulder blade is going to move. So as we become more aware, we can make this movement really nice and fluid, keeping the neck in check. Lateral and medial. And it's really easy, but a really nice way to activate a lot of those shoulder muscles in just a few very simple movements.